Hey there. Welcome to video 3 of exercise 1, and we're going to pick up where we just left off in the previous video, where we have created this sort of L bracket shape where we had a 3D extrusion and we put another 3D extrusion on top of it. So one thing I want to mention before we move forward is it's always a good idea to regularly save, right? ABS, always be saving. So anytime you have a successful step, you want to save it. So what I tend to recommend is come up here to the save, your little disk icon, and instead of just hitting save, I like to hit save as, because what that lets me do is it lets me name it in a way that I can kind of recognize where I left off with that particular model, because you might get pretty far into a model, especially as they get more complicated. And after you save something and you close it and you reopen it, you're not going to be able to undo any steps. So you might actually need to go back to a previous version, and the only one that might exist is the one that was named differently. So if I just named this E1 V1 again, that's just going to overwrite anything that I had, created in that other E1 V1. So I'm going to name that, of course, E1 V2, and make sure you're sending it somewhere where you can easily find it if you need it. And I know, because this is based on our tutorial booklet, I know what is included in this model. I know what it should look like. So I'm going to hit save right there. So now, even though I didn't open up a new file or anything like that, I actually have 2 SOLIDWORKS files associated with this particular model. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go back to that front view. I like to spend a lot of time there, and we're going to do another sketch on our 3D extrusion, but we are going to, instead of making another extrusion, we're going to create a hole. And there's a few ways we can do this in SOLIDWORKS, but this is one of the most common ways. We're going to create 2 circular holes. Again, it's I went into Sketch, I clicked Circle, and it's asking me to put it somewhere. So I'm going to put it here. And I don't know where here is. Okay, that could be, down in the very bottom here, it does give you some sort of dimensions, but I don't really want to take the time to try and figure out what that means. So I'm going to just make it anywhere, and I can make it any size. It doesn't matter, because when you create your item, it gives you the opportunity, in terms of a circle, to set the radius right away. So I'm going to set that to 3/4 of an inch, 0.75. And I don't like it where it is, so actually I'm going to make that 0.375. So my diameter would be 3/4 of an inch. So that's the size of the circle that I want, so that's fine. You can kind of see where that is. But I just put that in a random arbitrary spot. So I can use this feature up here, Smart Dimension, to put that exactly where I want it to go. So I'm going to go into the middle of the circle until I see that orange circle light up. Click once. And the first way I'm going to place it is in relation to this side. So I'll click that. And I actually want that to be 1 inch away. Now it's higher than I'd like, so I'm going to do the same thing again. Click on the orange circle that appears, make it in relation to this line to set some height. And notice I like to pull the dimensions out of the item. I could put it in here, but that would really cloud things and make things jumbled and harder to read, especially as your items get more complex. And I'm going to put it there, and I like, as best practice, to put my dimension in the middle of those lines, and I'm going to hit 1 again. And I'm going to exit that sketch. So we're going to leave the video at this point just to make sure you have that done, and in the next one we are going to cut the hole. See you then.